I'm Alexia, a cloud support engineer here at the AWS office in Mexico City. Today, I'm going to explain why a presigned URL for an Amazon Simple Storage Service bucket might expire before the specified expiration time and how to create a presigned URL that's valid for a longer duration. Let's get started. Anyone with valid security credentials can create a presigned URL. The presigned URL uses the credentials of the AWS user or role who generate the URL. So, when you use temporary security credentials to create a presigned URL, the URL expires when the temporary credentials expires, even when you specify a later expiration time for the URL. Presigned URLs grant access to your S3 bucket to anyone with the URL. So, for security purposes, it's important to have a short expiration time. AWS Identity and Access Management, or IAM, roles and users in AWS IAM Identity Center and federated users have temporary security credentials that expire after a defined period of time or when their sessions end. However, the root user and IAM users have long-term security credentials that don't expire by default. The types of credentials that you can use to generate presigned URLs include instance profile credentials that expire after a maximum of 6 hours, credentials from the AWS Security Token Service that expire after a maximum of 36 hours when signed with long-term credentials, or after the maximum session duration, which you can set up to 12 hours when you use role-based access. And IAM user credentials that allow you to create presigned URLs that are valid for up to 7 days. So, if you use the Amazon S3 console to create a presigned URL, you can set the expiration time to between 1 minute and 12 hours. If you use the AWS command line interface or AWS SDKs, then you can set the expiration time to up to 7 days. If you need to grant user access to your object for longer than 7 days, then you can use other services, such as Amazon CloudFront or Web Identity Federation with Amazon Cognito. Now, let me show you how to use IAM user credentials to generate a presigned URL that lasts for a longer period of time. From the AWS Management Console, navigate to the IAM console. Next, create a new IAM user with programmatic access and permissions to generate presigned URLs for your S3 bucket. When you create an IAM user, make sure that you follow the principle of less privilege by granting only the minimum necessary permissions to generate presigned URL for the specific S3 bucket and require operations. In my demo, I already created an IAM user. Now, on the Security Credentials tab in the Access Key section, I will create a copy and access key pair. Finally, I will use the credentials in my application to generate a presigned URL for GET requests that will be valid for up to 7 days. It's a best practice to securely store your user credentials. For example, you can use AWS System Manager Parameter Store. Thanks for watching and happy cloud computing from all of us here at AWS.